Hi, in today's session we are going to create something that's pretty much acid. So I delete the basic stuff, zoom in and create an oscillator and a filter. And today I'm not going to try to emulate the sonic capabilities of 303, but rather I will focus on stuff that the 303 does, like accent and slide. So it's more the characteristics of a bassline than the complete tone. But I hope this will be interesting enough. It sounds simple, but it really isn't so simple. You will see. So this is our very basic setup. We have the oscillator, we have a filter, and we have a gain that's going to be our amplifier, and this is going to be the final amplifier where we can change the final volume. And I'm going to set this to somewhere in the middle. And if you double right click on a knob, it gets to the middle. I don't know if you know this. So we are not going to use envelopes. And the first thing we are going to do is to create a decay, and that we are going to do using this gate node, a gate output, and we are going to use the same thing that we usually do to convert the gate to a trigger. This way we have a trigger, and I put a LED here because it's visual. So now if I use this burst, you can see that if I hit a key on my keyboard, it brings up, which is nice. So we can create an envelope from this using the envelope follower, and I'm going to demonstrate what it does with the scope. So the envelope follower will come into the B input of the scope, and the LED will come into it. And I'm going to use the scope in a frequency dependent mode, and I'm going to set the frequency to 1. And if I hit a key now, you can see that we have lines appearing whenever I hit a key. So if I crank up the release, wow, that looks like an envelope. So yeah, this is just a simple release. And I disconnect the scope, and now I want to make this release time tempo dependent, so I'm going to use the BPM sync node, and the millisecond output is going to connect it to the release modulation input, crank up the release modulation, and I will multiply this value simply with between 1 and let's say 16, and I leave it on analog mode, and this way we have nice control over the decay. And this decay is going to be our gain envelope. Yay! First thing is done. I put a con here so it looks straight and organized. We want to have the same envelope on our cutoff. That's pretty easy to do. Let's use a crossfader. Connect the envelope to the X input, and the output of the crossfade is going to be the cutoff modulation, and crank up the cutoff modulation to the maximum again. And there you go. And what we need now is to have a knob for cutoff. That's going to be our A input of the crossfader. And we need to know how much we want to modulate the cutoff with. So we create another knob on the B input, and that's going to be the env mode, like envelope modulation. And we will need to add the envelope modulation to the cutoff frequency, like this. And here we have our little setup. this looks reasonable. And I want to have the envelope modulation between 0 and 64 and the cutoff between 0 and 128. And let's move these knobs a bit. I set the envelope modulation, a cutoff frequency, and we should hear a sound now if I play a key. We do not do it because I forgot to add velocity to the oscillator, and now I did it. And if I hit a key now, we should hear something for real. Cool, 1 octave lower. Amazing. Now let's create a slide. So we only want So if we hit one key and do not release it and hit another one, we want the pitch to slide to that value. So let's take a look at the pitch and insert an envelope follower modulated into the line. And we are going to use the gate here. But first I am going to create a knob on the amplitude modulation and connect it to the release modulation, and we add some value to it and crank up this. And first I show you why we need to do something with this, because now this is on 300 milliseconds. So we slide always to the new note, which is not the behavior what we want, because if we hit a key on its own, we want to have the pitch on the desired level in the moment we hit the key. So we have to multiply the amplitude modulation by the gate. And this is almost done. We only need to insert the previous node here, which is one sample later. And now if you hit a key on its own, the pitch will be 0. The envelope followers amplitude and release following time will be 0 at the moment you hit the key, and will only rise up one sample later. But then you are on the right pitch, so it will try to follow itself to the level where it is. I hope this made sense. So if I hit a key now, it's on the right pitch, and if I hit a key and hit another one, it slides. So this is the behavior that we want. And what we want to have is to have these slide tempo dependent. So once again, we do not only multiply it by this value, but we are multiplying it by the millisecond output, and let's have it between 1 and or 0.5 and 2 maybe. Let's see if this makes sense. Yeah, it seems like this made sense. So these are the very basics. Now we have slide, now we have a cutoff, now we have envelope modulation. So this is a very basic bassline. But we still need accent. And I want to have the accent controlled by the velocity. So I create a node, an LED, and I will check the velocity there. And if the velocity is going to be bigger than a number, and I call this accent level, then we will output the gate. If not, then we won't output anything. So I put an LED here, and we'll see what happens if I plug this into a dummy node, which node is not doing anything. This plug is not doing anything, so I plug it there, and now I hit a key. Accent level is 0, so I raise it up to 0.9, so only very hard. This LED should only blink if I hit the key hard. Yay! It's working. So we have an accent level, and we have a trigger only when we are above a certain velocity. And yeah, let's see what else we need. I think that I'm going to insert these change rather these there, so we only have a trigger. Cool. And there's one more situation when accent should be triggered, and we should also be able to trigger it when we slide. So we need to create another logix thing. So if we change the pitch, so if this happens and the velocity is some other level, then we add these together. And this way, if we change we have a new gate and we change the pitch, we can have a value of 2 on the output of this add. So we create another change, and this way we can only output 1, and we plug this there. And let's see if this works. So I hit a new key, hit it hard. We have the blinking LED. Now let's try it with slide. It works. Wow. We are developing. Cool. Align this too, because that will look nicer. Cool. So this is our accent trigger. What do we do with it? Accent is a hot topic because the real 303 is behaving strange with accent. So if you have 2 notes with accent after each other, the second note will have the accent on a higher level. So we need to emulate this somehow if you want to have a 303 sounding something. So let's take a look at how we can do this. And I think I'm going to experiment here a bit, because I'm not sure how to solve this. So I create a scope, because I like to see what I'm doing. I connect this there, and I connect this like here, because that's a pretty good dummy place. And give this a frequency of 1, and yep. And I don't need this anymore, so I have the scope, and cool. And I wanna create something that is constantly releasing. So let's see what we can do. This is going to be a feedback. I just want to. Now I'm creating an add node first, and I create a multiplier. Connect these 2 guys up. And give this some value, like a constant value now. Let's see what happens with 0.9. Yeah, we can see that we have a release. What happens if it's 0.99? It's still not much, a lot more nines. Yeah, this is long. Okay, let's create a knob, because that's a bit more practical. So between 99 and 1 is going to be our value. Yeah, this is something. And let's see the levels. If we get higher, if we have two accents after each other. So the maximum was 0.0559. If I hit two keys after each other very hard, that's higher. Okay, we have got it. So this is our basic accent thing with a release. And what we also need is another envelope follower. I deleted the scope, but I created again, so you see the difference. That goes into the B, and you will see what we do. And on this output is going to be connected there, because that's not doing anything. So 1 Hertz. And what we want to have is some attack, because accents have attack. And press it hard. There is some difference. Make this release a bit longer. Like the scale, I take it lower so we see more. And I need to make this release a bit longer. Oh, it's 1. That you can see. So this is the behavior we want. So we can use these as the accent and add this to the cutoff modulation, and that's going to be plugged right into this add, no, not into the add, but yeah, into the add, and we will scale it down later. So like this. This is an ugly patch, so I move this to the right side, align it like that. Yeah, like that. Move these guys to the right and create a cone here, because the accent is going to be also doing stuff on different locations, and I want to be able to have a clean patch. So let's listen to the simple note and yeah, that's something that sounds like an accent. And yeah, what's next? We want to have this controlled by some amount. So this is going to be our accent knob, just multiplying the envelope. So if this way we have no accent, Cool. And we can also slide with accent. Cool. We can even make this stronger. But I think 1-1 was just enough. Cool. I like this sound. Excuse me. So now connect this also to the resonance modulation input, and also multiply this by some number so we have some reasonable level. I don't know what. I'm just guessing. Cool. And also do some amplitude modulation. Actually, I like this because this way we do not get those lines ugly. So I add the accent value there, and I create a cone again, like this. Yeah, that's something, but again we need to control these values so it's not these loud. So I create another knob for that. And these I will replace now with the constant, because this doesn't need a knob. So this 3.65 value will do the thing for the resonance. And now I check what the volume needs. Yeah, this 0.15 is just enough. And basically we have our basic 303, I think. Now we can go to 1.5 with the accent, so it can be higher. Wow, I like the sound. And yeah. And let's create a sequence for it. Should not be too hard. I just want to know where I play. Okay, I play a lot lower, and I like the sound there. So yeah, this is going to be the thing I use. I duplicate these things. Set the step length like that, and from here on things should be funny, because these low notes are single notes. Move this one octave lower, 2 semitones higher, 3 semitones higher, like go in there, select some 2 semitones higher, select some other notes and go like crazy like this, and 1 octave higher, 1 octave higher, 1 octave lower, and yeah, this is some random pattern. These notes will have slides like this, and let's create some accents like there and here and here and here and maybe here too, so that we have a double accent. Oh, we have a double accent with slide. Okay. So let's take a listen to what it sounds like. but the accent is too long like this, it should be affected by the envelope itself, this envelope, and we just add it to it. So before we add the accent to the envelope, I like the sound a lot. Wow, this sounds cool. We have to multiply this with the envelope, and let's listen to it like this, because now this envelope maybe this makes no sense. I leave it like this, and we'll try to make the accent to be shorter by multiplying the envelope with itself, like this. Let's play it. Oh yeah, this is the problem. This should have been I set this to 1 point, yeah. I make this shorter, and if I play it now. Cool. And in case you want to get rid of these clicks, it's pretty simple to do. Just need to give an envelope follower to this amplitude modulation, give it a bit of attack and a bit of release, and now it sounds a lot nicer. But I find that analog gear is clicking as well, but amazing. And what else we need is create a waveform selector using a knob, and we set this to, we rename it to so per square and set it to step, and minimum is 5, maximum is 6. Yeah, and let's truncate it so it's just integer numbers, because this is the knobs are interpolated on them on. Cool. And let's do something that we do not do too much in these noding sessions, create an instrument from this whole thing. So first of all, we want to be able to select the waveform. We want to be able to set the cutoff level on the second parameter slot. We want to have the envelope module, no, the resonance. Oh, I forgot the resonance. Oh gosh. Oh. I forgot the resonance control, because that's an important part. So I just add some value to this and create a knob, and we'll do this between 0 and... No, actually, this is tricky, because I don't care. This will be between 0 and 10, and you will be able to raise up the resonance. But the resonance of the filter modulated node is not between 0 and 1. It's between 0 and endless. So yeah, basically we are here now, and we have a resonance control, so this is going to be resonance, and it's going to be the third parameter. Envelope modulation is going to be number 4, and accent control is going to be number 5, and you can see these names appear there. And what else do we need? We need a volume controller. Take this down, create a knob for it. Oops, it will be volume. It's going to be number 6, like this. And I set this to the be center. But okay, what else do we need? We have volume, we have accent level is good there. I doubt that we need anything else. Yeah, we need a slide. And it's going to be number 7. And I'm going to remove all the rest. And we create a MIDI mapping with my controller. And now I can start messing around. Yeah, the volume should be in the center, slide should be there. Yeah. And I can hit play. Oh, I forgot the decay. Where's the decay? Oh, there's the decay. Stop it. And let's create the decay control as well. It's going to be number 4 instead of number 4 instead of the envelope modulation. Envelope modulation is going to be number 5, and then we need accent. It's going to be number 6, and we need the volume. It's going to be number 7, and we need the slide. That's going to be number 8. And move it. It appears there. Go into the MIDI, and yeah, now we can play it again. Yeah, I changed the decay time between 1 and 4. And I'm going to change the accent strength to be non-linear. Let's say like this. And if you want to have some analog characteristics or more analogish, you can add a filter here, a simple one-pole filter with some low pitch, let's say 50, and create a subtract like this, and plug this into the filter. And you can also create another filter, a one-pole filter, using the same pitch. Is this the cut? No, that's not the pitch. Using a cone. Yeah, this is the resonance modulation. Yeah, but basically this is a bassline that you can use anytime as a bassline. I'm just shrinking down the pitch. And basically this is it. So, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you had fun, and I hope you will have a happy new year. And yeah, if you like these videos, please subscribe and spread the word that you can do almost anything with Alpha Forever. And yeah, once again, thanks for everything, and happy noding. Bye bye.
Balázs.